and welcome back to another episode. So much fun today. I have a great guest. For those of you that are watching versus listening, I am with my friend Brady Matthews today, and he's awesome. So I want to just start with anybody who's listening, you need to go to Instagram and go follow Brady Matthews. Also,
Please.
mouthpiece. But Brady, let's just jump into it because you and I have so much fun.
Sure.
I think literally the two of us are just two gigantic goofballs. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right? But I've been wanting to get you on the show. I love following your journey, and you're just like that overall fun guy. But you have a story to tell. So let's start with, I really want to cover a few things today with you. I want to talk about your career in comedy.
Sure.
I want to talk about your podcast and what that looks like, future projects, and even your artwork, because I think people don't realize that you have this amazing skill in art. So let's start with art first, because I feel like that one's like the easy one. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you started recognizing that you have this amazing skill.
Well, depression's a hell of a drug. So let's start there. um, I started painting because my mom's an artist. So I think I just got it from my mom. And I didn't really know I had it. So, I mean, I couldn't draw you a stick figure to save my life. But for some reason, if I can look at a picture and hold it in my hand, I can paint it. If you take that away from me, we're in big trouble. But I started when I was like 36, 37. And I was personal training at the time. By the way, I've had 19 million jobs, but I was personal training at the time. This lady's like, I really love a picture of my daughter. And I was like, what does she look like? She showed me a picture. I went home and I did it. And I gave it to her the next day. She didn't even ask me to do it. And she's like, oh my God, you did this? And I knew she had a lot of money too. And I go, yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes, how much do you want for it? And I said, $250. I should have hiked it way up. But she, after that, commissioned me to do more paintings. And then I quit my personal training job. And then I started booking some acting stuff, which really helped me get the ball rolling in terms of being financially okay with quitting personal training, and started doing art and acting, which kind of go hand in hand. Because if you know a lot of actors and comedians, we're all artists. Um, and so I started doing commission paintings, and then I did a commission painting for Theo Vaughn, and he wanted Chris Farley. So I did this Chris Farley painting. It's a huge one. If you look it up on my Brady Matthews art page, you can see it, or you can go to bradymatthewsart.com. Selfless plug. But he loved it and put it behind his backdrop. And this was during COVID. And I remember sitting we drove from California to Florida, me and my ex-fiance with some friends of ours. And I'm sitting on his couch, and all my friends hit me up and they go, your art's behind Theo Vaughn's podcast, right? And I go, what? And then I'm getting these emails from people, just all these emails that found me wanting a print of my art. I didn't have a printer. I didn't know what I was doing. So I was going to Kinko's all COVID, printing out prints, print. I made so much money. I sent Theo also a very nice thank you package for all of that.
I'm sure.
But that's where the journey started. And that's where, and then I did, after that, Arnold Schwarzenegger's camp found out about me and asked me to do a painting for him for a charity. And I said, yeah, for a certain price, I'll do it for a charity. But no, I did it for charity, but also they compensated me pretty good too. And I got to go to the event with my mom, which was cool too. So, yeah, and then I've been painting ever since. I did a mural for Patrick Bet David. It's at their studio, which is really cool. I went to Art Basel for the first time as an artist, which was always a goal of mine. And it's funny when they say when you set goals, you chip away at them, but don't get upset if it doesn't happen right away. But always focus on that goal, because you never know how it's going to happen. It happens like this, right? So yeah, with that said, art's always been good to me, and the holidays are coming up. So if someone's looking for some art, let me know.
You do have some great pictures, and paintings. I can't call them pictures. You have some great paintings. And
Thank you.
I've seen you, transition, and you go into, into different modalities, I think. Today you're like, hey, I'm focused on art. And then we're jumping around into different things. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of what you do is about being an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
being a risk taker, right? So let's talk about that. So art was this journey that you went on, but now you're also doing your comedy and your acting. What is that like when you are in your 30s and, now,
40s. Yeah. We're hitting there. I mean, it's okay. It's okay to say I turned 45 in April. It's fine. We're coping with it. How much time do we have left?
Yeah,
No.
not getting over Brady. We've talked about this. So what is that like being a risk taker, during this period of time where most people are kind of like settling down and figuring out what they want to do? You're still like on the journey.
Yeah, a good question. I have terrible ADHD, as you know very well. And so I get bored with stuff very fast. So if I feel like this is going good, like with the art, then I'll go right back into my comedy. And the thing I love about my comedy is there's always shows for me to do since people know me in the community so well. I can jump on shows with this guy, or I can do Don't Tell Comedy over here for the weekend, or I can go book shows out of town. Like I was just in Texas and I did this place called TK's Comedy Club and headline there. And I have a bit where, and it's I was doing a plank on on the table and I fell. You saw it, right?
Okay. I
Yeah.
called you, I go, Brady. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just fall on stage?
Yeah. We'll add this in post. I fell off stage and sent that to Blue Chew. Sent that to them and I said, sponsor me, right? Because you always got to capitalize on the things that happen or don't happen and vice versa. So I have a call with them today and I pitched them a comedy tour, 5 nights, 5 cities, sponsored by Blue Chew. Get 5 comedians and so we'll find out today if it's going to happen or not, but I think it's going to happen. So I'm telling you, you always just got to take risks. And as long as you're having fun doing it, then, if it's not hurting anybody, and you're making money doing it,
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as you're supporting yourself, which I love. Now, obviously,
yeah,
you're located down in Florida for the people that are watching and or listening, but
yeah.
you had this great comedy career as well. How long have you been doing comedy for?
Oh, a long time, about 17 years.
Who told you you were funny?
My family, my mom. I used to do impressions for them all the time. And I used to do impressions for my mom when she was sad. So I would come up to her and I'd be like George Bush. I'm like, things aren't working out. 1,000 points a lot. Let's go outside for a walk. Come on, Karen. Like, and I would just go with her, and I would always make her laugh. And Saturday Night Live was always a dream of mine. Obviously, I tested for it 10 years ago today, but it was one of the best comedy career moments because you get to go to the Super Bowl and you get to see what it's like, and not everyone wins the Super Bowl, and that's okay. But it was a great experience. And then after that, you get good representation and then you go on bigger auditions. But comedy's always been good to me, and I always know that's something I can always fall back on. So
Where do most people find you for
through Instagram, basically. I don't have a comedy website because nowadays not a lot of people have comedy websites. It's all through TikTok, it's all through Instagram, it's all through social media. And a lot of people want to just follow your pages. You can put that all on a website, which is great. But I just don't have one. I have an art website, but I don't have a comedy website. I don't know. I think as my focus also is like you said, and I know you'll get into it, is my show. My show is my focus right now. So.
And that's what I definitely want to talk about. So once again, we are speaking with Brady Matthews, and obviously comedian, actually comedian, friend, artist, super nice guy. We say single for you ladies that are watching.
Oh yeah, super single.
So let's jump into your podcast because you spend some time there. This is something that I've been behind the scenes watching and just a big fan. So I think what happens in, the name of the show is The Mouthpiece. I know you were out on, Valuetainment with PBD. And
Yeah.
now you are looking at other verticals for where you can bring the show. And I think what happens is that if somebody's looking at you on social media, they're like, oh, I could do that. Or how hard could that be? But
Yeah.
you have an entire production just to make a reel. Walk
Yeah.
through what that's like creating the mouthpiece and how much time it takes for you to actually do the production for the show.
Great question. So for me, I came up with the mouthpiece because I wanted to do a sports show that encompassed all sports, but also encompasses pop culture. So sports pop culture, because nowadays every athlete has a podcast, right? They all have a podcast, but no one's talking about what they're talking about. Because sometimes they say some stupid stuff. So we dissect that. So I'm a podcast and a podcast, basically. So I find the stuff that people don't technically know what's going on. Um, you know, like the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fights coming up.
Mhm.
No one technically is talking a lot about that. And
Yeah,
I love sports.
they're
Not a lot. Not I mean, it's next week. It's next week. So but not a lot of people are really like diving into it. Now listen, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up watching Tyson. I watched him bite off Evander Holyfield's ear. Now he's selling edibles that look like bit off ears. Genius marketing, smart as can be. I mean, come on, dude. You can't make that up, but very smart. But so I said, in terms of my show, what is the legacy of Mike Tyson? Now, if Mike Tyson gets knocked out by Jake Paul, which a lot of people are predicting he's going to get knocked out in the second round, I don't want to see that. And I said, that's going to tarnish me watching Mike Tyson from now on or watching Mike Tyson fights. Again, it's like if Michael Jordan went into the big three. And if you don't know what the big three is, it's basically where retired guys go to keep playing basketball. You know, you don't want to see it. Just take your horse and ride off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff that we dive into the mouthpiece. Also, we'll talk about the P. Diddy stuff. People don't, I mean, people want to know about that stuff too. It's very weird.
You that just posted J-Lo, why didn't you give us an update?
Yeah.
Was that you? Was that your page?
Yeah.
I just saw
No, it was not.
it wasn't your page. Somebody just posted something and it was a picture of J-Lo and basically saying like it was your duty and your obligation to have said something, right? You know, but they were saying in like a sassy type of
Yeah, tongue in cheek.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so the mouthpiece encompasses all that. Also, we got with another company that supports the mouthpiece, and it's all encompasses sports betting, and they're called Make Vegas Pay. So we have kind of like come together to where they're not these guys are very serious dudes because they're very serious about sports betting. I'm not the most serious guy in the whole world. I mean, as you can tell in this interview. So I bring it out in these guys, you know, and it's good. It's good, and things are good. But you know these guys very well as well. So what the show is? It's sports pop culture. It's a podcast and a podcast, and also for all your sports betting needs.
Which I love. You know, let's talk about that for, you know, for a minute. So we have
Yeah.
the mouthpiece, which is, you know, your kind of show, and then we have the MVP. And I know I've
Right.
spoken to, you know, Simon and Andres about the show and what their vision is. And you're right, you guys are very different. But I think what happens is that you bring different elements and you want to be this fun guy and they're talking, you know, again, just on the backside, having conversation, you know, value add, talking about sports betting and talking about the legalities and speaking about
Yeah.
even get involved. You know, I'm going to be 52 years old. You know, I've never gotten into sports betting.
But it's funny, but you're in the realm of you're around it. So I'm so surprised you've never done that.
I'm secretly lame. Have we not had this We've been
No.
out
You
to
have farm animals. No one has. Listen. You're not lame to me unless you got a pig in the house. All right. I don't even have a dog.
I do. I do. And I just got two more. That's a whole other conversation.
Of
The
course you did.
Of course I could not help myself. I will send you
It's save a pig.
I'll commission you to make a picture of Howie and Morty. Those are my two new pigs.
Totally. Let's do it.
I love it. But you have all this energy going. And I think at the end of the day, people are looking at these podcast platforms. How are you monetizing on that?
Well, we're working on the monetization since we're still fairly new and people are still trying to get a grasp of what the show is. For instance, we just had a kid on our show yesterday. His name's Chiseled Adonis, right? Guy's great. He's got 800,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's crushing it. And his show is very similar to The Mouthpiece, but his is a little more UFC based. Mine's a little bit of everything based.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to him, how did it take you? Or what was the process for you to get monetized? He says it took him about 3 years. Because also, and also he was getting monetized as he was going, but to like really make some serious money off it is how he lives now. He's had to build on it. And also the one thing that I found out too, for your audience, live stream, Twitch or Switch. I'm so old. Yeah, Switch or Twitch, whatever the hell it is. The live stream. People just want to sit and watch you do stuff now.
Don't you find that weird?
That's where we're going. You ever seen Black Mirror, Rhonda? This is where we're headed.
Oh, no.
Rhonda, doesn't the AI stuff scare you? Listen, listen, we'll get back on track. But this morning I hit up Chat GPT and I said, make me a macros diet for a 45-year-old that wants to get like completely shredded, and also give me a workout plan. It did it in 0.2 seconds.
The problem becomes following it.
No, I can usually follow it. I see it. I can do it.
Willpower. Just give me a shot of Ozempic and I'd be okay.
Yeah.
I generally am not the girl that wants to cheat, but I really love candy,
Oh,
and
for sure.
I love my sweet.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I understand I understand.
Yeah, I understand. I just I have such a issue. I love to eat.
Yeah.
So I would love to create a diet plan, but I know I would never stick to it. I'm not that girl. I just was on somebody else's show and she's like, "You look so fit. What do you do to stay in shape?" I'm like, "You serious right now?" I was like, "This body is not a body in motion. You could only see from here. This is not a body in motion. I go from my kitchen to the bathroom to the bedroom, maybe to the farm, and back to the kitchen. So it's not a body.
You know what? You're specific and you're saving time, and that's all that matters.
That's it. I'm a multitasker, and we have to kind of work through things. But so just for the sake of time, tell everybody, where are we going to follow you? Where can we all learn how awesome you are? So
well,
I know.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
I need everybody else to know too.
You can follow me at Brady Matthews Comedy on TikTok, or you can find my art at Brady Matthews Art, also on TikTok. Or if you want to buy a print of my art, you can go on Brady Matthews Art, and it's connected to my Shopify. You click on the little links, you put in what you want, and then it sends it right to your little home, right in time for Christmas. Or also, if you want to see I do a lot of stuff for the show, which is our show right here.
Yep.
For the show, you can go to Brady Matthews 13 on Instagram for all your content needs.
I love it. You're so awesome.
Yeah, you're awesome.
This is like, we don't see each other often enough. So we'll try.
I know we will.
I know. We're working on it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But with that said, we are out of time today. But thank you so much for joining me. And I'll chat with you in a little bit.
It was. Thank you so much for having me on your show, and I'll see you soon.
You got it. Talk to you in a little bit.